Hi everyone, my name is Ryan Johnson and I'm speaking to you on behalf of the first and second year experiences in community development. Today I'm going to cover a little bit about diversity, equity, and inclusion. So first and foremost, I would like to thank all of you for watching this video. I know there's a lot more you could be doing during the summer, such as, chilling on the beach, practicing a new TikTok dance, or even exploring new movies, videos, any type of TV show you want to catch up on. But you're taking the time to learn about Colgate right now. So I would like to give you a pat on the back for taking the time to further your academic excellence. So first and foremost, I would like to talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion, and how that's a central focus of Colgate's Third Century Plan initiative to build a more inclusive and equitable Colgate. Just as a reminder, everything will be available on Moodle in the form of modules for your completion. But this video gives you a quick glimpse, that way you have a taste of what's to come in a Moodle module, that way you know what to expect. So, these are the 10 major points we are going to cover in the Moodle module. Up first, we're going to talk about the introduction to DEI, what Colgate's third century plan is, the history of Colgate and the definition of terms. We're going to talk about the I am from activity to learn about your identities, how to cultivate empathy, recognizing implicit bias and privilege. And we're also going to break down intersectionality and how our identities form one being, as well as talking about the next steps of what's to come further as you prep for orientation. So at first, it's the introduction to DEI. What is DEI and why is it important? So this will talk about opening up to new perspectives, learning about diversity, equity, and inclusion, as well as seeking points of connection with others that are different from you, and recognizing our own biases, fears, and comfort levels. Up next, we're going to talk about Colgate's third century plan and what they put in place to ensure that faculty, staff, and students all feel supported in the university and reflect the diversity of the world. Up next, we're going to talk about the history of DEI and how student activism has expanded at Colgate University. And within this part of the module, you're going to learn from 100 Colgate students of color about their raw feelings and understandings about the Colgate environment and how they feel being a student on campus. And we're also going to cover a little bit about diversity, equity, and inclusion, defining all three of those terms and understanding what they mean and where they come from. Next, we're also going to cover the I am from activity to learn about your background, your accomplishments, and your leadership to understand a little bit more about where you're from. It's important that you do complete this poem, as you will be sharing it with your link group during orientation. Up next, we're going to talk about cultivating empathy, defining what empathy is, the difference between empathy and sympathy, and really understanding the difference between the two. Up next, we're also going to talk about implicit biases. We all have implicit biases about something, someone, or some conglomerate of issues. But it's important for us to talk about these biases, how they can impact our decisions, our thinking. So this will talk about implicit biases and how to combat it. And it will be complemented by the Harvard Race Implicit Association test that you can take at your own leisure. Up next, we're going to talk about privilege. What is privilege and how our different backgrounds have different levels of privilege that come into play? It's important to know that privilege doesn't mean you're a bad person or that you have a copious amount of advantages over someone, but it's a good understanding about circumstances of life and how they can give you benefits that you never asked for or worked towards. Up next, we're going to talk about intersectionality. knowing that all of our identities may impact the way we perceive or interact with the world around us. Our identities impact our lived experiences in unique ways and feed off of one another, and it's important to know how our identities might differ from others and really finding that central point for ourselves and realizing our own livelihood and where we come from. Last but not least, the module will conclude and it will talk about next steps. So the module will continue on Sunday, July 11th on the completion of your first one, and it will talk about actionable steps of what to do now that you have all these tools. So it's important to familiarize yourself with the content we share with you. So go ahead and get started on the Moodle modules and you'll learn a little bit more about what Colgate has to offer and how you can become a better student. So that being said, get on Moodle, get those modules done, and I thank you for watching this video. Good luck, and I wish you the best at Colgate University.